Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup on Free FM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and as always, live on Skype, we got Josh. So we got the Royal Rumble to get through. We could be here all day talking about the Royal Rumble match, but we do have an undercard to get to there first. On the kickoff show, the six-woman tag team match, Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi managed to defeat Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya.
Well, anything to get Naomi a push.
Yeah, converting it with what happened on SmackDown, it's essentially just setting up the three women's feuds. Nikki Bella versus Natalya, Naomi with the title shot, and presumably Becky versus Mickie James. Mm-hmm. Which means we don't get our women's Elimination Chamber match that we proposed.
Yeah, that was a long shot to begin with.
Yeah.
I only proposed it as a joke.
It was pretty rough of an odds. But it'll be interesting to see who's holding the title and who's challenging it heading into WrestleMania. Because, this is the last stop. But SmackDown very well known for having title matches on the weekly show. So you can't say it's not going to change hands before then. After Elimination Chamber, before WrestleMania, that period. Also, on the kickoff, new champs, the Club, defeating Sheamus and Cesaro, as expected.
Not really a surprise there. It is what it is.
I know they're your favorite tag team, and you're super excited to see them with the belts and having a run.
It is what it is. And I'm just hoping their title reign only lasts 63 days.
Is that WrestleMania?
Yes, it is WrestleMania.
Yeah. It seems as though looking ahead at WrestleMania with everything that happened on this card and everything that happens on Raw and SmackDown, there's a hell of a lot of singles feuds being built, including the Cesaro and Sheamus one here, where it looks like they're going to blow up and head into their own. That is a hell of a lot of singles matches that we could potentially have at WrestleMania.
Well, you have a 4-hour show plus like a 3-hour pre-show.
True. But presumably you've also got the Battle Royal that's going to eat up a couple of feuds.
Yeah. And you also have a pay-per-view between the for each brand.
Yeah. There's always a chance that a lot of them get blown over there, and then we can just move in nice and peacefully. Don't know. Then the last show on the kickoff, because we had three matches on there, Nia Jax defeating Sasha Banks. The injured.
They're definitely starting to build Nia into something. And I'm fine with her putting her over Sasha because Sasha has the built-in excuse of being injured.
Yeah.
So that protects her, and then you have so it elevates Nia, and as we saw on Raw, if they're starting to show signs of flipping her alignment.
Yeah, my notes say Sasha Banks is being a word we can't say on radio to Bayley. She's being a little grumpy. Let's go with grumpy. I don't know in terms of, again, their WrestleMania. Obviously, we've got to get through Fastlane to get there. But the only thing I've seen batted around so far that's not the obvious is just a fatal four-way between these four women.
Yeah, I kind of expect Bayley to win the title at Fastlane.
What?
I was expecting it all along to be WrestleMania.
Yeah, so was I.
But I can seriously see us going with Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And I don't think we want to see Sasha, as much as the matches were good, I don't think we want to see Sasha versus Charlotte again.
No, please no.
So the only way that's going to happen at WrestleMania is if Bayley wins it prior to the event.
True. I don't know, I feel like I'm still leaning towards, just with that Nia Jax build-up, to have it not be for nothing. Having a fatal four-way between them, it does give an interesting element if Sasha Banks' alignment is to slip, in that Bayley is essentially heading into a 1-on-3 situation, where Nia, Banks, and Flair all hate her.
Yeah, but you know something? I just had an interesting thought for Nia.
Okay, let's go.
Just make her the first female winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
That is a funnier suggestion than your Women's Elimination Chamber match suggestion. I think there's near zero odds of that. Not that I would be against it. I think it would have to be done very well for it to work.
And there's been 3 women in the actual Royal Rumble, so why couldn't they put a woman in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
I don't think it's they can't. I just don't see them doing it. As much.
But if there was one woman that they would do it with, it would be Nia Jax.
Yes, 100%. Much like when you were looking at like the long shot that this year there was a woman in the Rumble, it would have been Nia Jax. I still don't see it happening. As much as it's a fun suggestion, or even just her entering, would be something all in itself. And to build her as a competitor, I don't know, I feel like we're just shying away from it a little bit. But as we alluded to, the Charlotte Flair retaining her Raw Women's Championship against Bayley, keeping the streak alive.
The only issue I had with the match was the ending.
Yeah.
I didn't like that it was a clean finish.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there, especially if we're going to keep the feud going and have rematches. There's no sort of like, oh, I deserve a rematch because you did this or this.
Instead, Bayley has to go over Charlotte again to earn the right to face her again.
Yeah.
And that kind of hurts the storyline a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would have been better if Charlotte had pulled something along the lines of her father and won the match dirty.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing here in terms of Charlotte, as long as this pay-per-view reign just keeps going, honestly. It's going to have to be broken sooner or later, preferably sooner. As you said, if not at Fastlane, then at WrestleMania, hopefully. But yeah, I think it's starting to hit that point where it's starting to be time for a change. And Bayley seems to be the logical one to take it here. What do we got? We'll talk about the two world title ones at the same time. So we'll jump over one and jump into the Cruiserweight division, 205 Live. Neville is your new champ.
All hail King Neville!
Yep, King of the Cruiserweights, made sense. Picking up the title, essentially the final boss of the Cruiserweight division. He's going to continue to dominate that Cruiserweight division, at least for now. Hopefully he's going to have a longer reign than the last three champions. They weren't the longest.
No. Yep, to me, there are only two possible people that can take the title from him. One could be immediate, depending on how they want to build the feud. The other depends on when they clear him to wrestle. And I think it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about.
But who is it, Josh?
In both instances.
Is it the Umbrella?
Yes, it's the Umbrella.
It meets the weight limit.
Yeah, the only people I could see beating Neville is either Jack Gallagher or Austin Aries.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Austin, honestly, has been great. You know, the commentary with the interviews and everything. But
he started voicing our complaint about the Cruiserweight division.
Mm.
In the interview he had with Tony Nese on Raw, he brought up the fact that Tony Nese has no personality, and Tony Nese proved it.
It was burn of the year.
Yeah.
It was like, what, you have washboard abs, but you have as much personality as a washboard.
And even though it was scripted, the answer he gave was scripted for him, he didn't deliver it in a way that made you think, wow, that was interesting.
Yeah. It's a rough going time for the Cruiserweights.
Yeah, somebody said, well, he probably doesn't have enough stroke to ad-lib. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Even anybody with a personality can deliver the most scripted lines in a way that makes you care in some way about it.
Then we'll jump back. WWE Universal Championship. Kevin Owens successfully retains, despite Chris Jericho being locked in a shark cage and screaming the entire match.
Yeah, I did love the shout out to William Regal in the match. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter who uses brass knuckles. It will always be William Regal to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it was a great match, as expected. And I'm fine with the ending because it sets up another feud for Fastlane. And I kind of wanted to see Braun versus Roman anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to get it a month earlier than we thought we were going to get it, but
yeah,
it's neither here nor there. It should be an interesting match at Fastlane between the two of them.
Yeah, the thing I like the most is that looking ahead at WrestleMania, I can't really look at something and say 100% this is the feud that's going to take us there. And you could put that up to things constantly changing, but damn, it's fun to be watching weekly and just not be able to sit down and telegraph exactly. Like, I feel like past few years you could sit down after the Royal Rumble and write out the exact WrestleMania card. And then this year, it's all over the place. There's so many opportunities and so many different ways that you could go and so many different things that you can do. That's a good thing.
Last year's was especially bad because of all the injuries.
Yeah, there was really only like 6 people. Well, one of those guys who was injured and also features in the only non-Royal Rumble match we haven't talked about yet. He made history, or tied history. And sadly, I had to agree to play his theme on the show. I don't know if it was ever publicized, but I had very long time banned this theme. 21 episodes I made without playing it. But you can't deny that the match, the WWE Championship match, John Cena, AJ Styles, was a damn good match.
Match of the decade.
That is a very large title. What is it, 27? You have 3 more years to top that still. So I'm not going to go that far.
So far, match of the decade.
Okay. An amazing match. But yeah, that's why I have to play a man's song as much as it depresses me.
And his name is John Cena!
We're back with the Wrestling Roundup for FM 89.0, Grady and Josh. Now we will talk about it. The WWE Championship match. You said match of the decade so far. Explain.
It was an amazing match. Cena and AJ just have such a chemistry together that it's insane to think that AJ's only been in the company for a year. But they've already put on 2 of the very best matches you've ever seen.
He was definitely one of those guys that jumped on the scene and honestly just took it to the moon. In terms of wrestling ability, the storylines he was given, the charisma that was oozing off him, he just went.
And the charisma part's the surprising part because he never really did much for TNA. As far as his mic skills, is what everybody's told me when that watched TNA that was his biggest weakness.
Well, he must have worked on him.
Not at all a case here. And it may be just he's one of those guys that works really well with being scripted.
Yeah.
So it just may be that WWE can script him better than what TNA was able to do.
But as much...
And, I think it was very fitting that the referee of this match, which I did not even notice was the referee until after the match was over, which is how good a referee is that it was very fitting that Little Nate, Charles Robinson, was the referee for this match.
Yeah, it was definitely not missed in terms of like all of the chats I was in. It was like so symbolic as well. And as much props as we're giving to AJ, Cena needs to get them just as much as well.
Yep. He was not carried at all by AJ in this match.
Nah.
He brought it just as much as AJ did.
I think as soon as that match ended, everybody in our chat was just like, respect. Like, that was earned. That was not just like, here, take the record.
If you're going to do something historic like that, you better bring it. And John Cena brought it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm fine with it. If the title reign only ends up being 2 weeks long, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm surprisingly fine with it. If it turns out to be longer, I'm fine with that as well. But this night and that match is going to live on for a long time. Because that's how good the match was, and it's how important that moment was.
Yeah.
If anybody ever deserved to tie Ric Flair, it was John Cena. Cena has worked harder, longer, and done more for WWE than any top superstar in the history of the company. He does the 300 days of the year, then throws on top of that all the press, PR, and things of that nature for the WWE, then throws on top of that movie schedules, usually related to WWE, and still ends up doing his 300 days a year, while doing that, and then throws on all the charity stuff he does. How the heck he has any free time, I have no idea.
And his reward for all of that, defending his title in the Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. Great lineup in terms of his opponents as well. AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, The Miz, and Dean Ambrose. As much as I'd love Baron Corbin to win, I don't see it happening.
I'd like to see him finish top 3.
I'd like to see him finish top 2, but again, don't think that'll be happening.
He can't be top 2 because unless they eliminate Cena early in the match, I think Cena will be one of the last 2 standing. But I'm going to go with Bray Wyatt wins the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I think that's the way we've been projecting. So what, Bray Wyatt wins it, Randy Orton challenges him, then you got Dean and Corbin to go at it for the IC title, and you also got Miz, Cena, if that's the way they want to go with that. And AJ Styles.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what they're going to do with Cena after, if he loses the title. But, because our options are becoming limited.
Yeah. Not, especially with the possibility that he's going pretty much immediately after WrestleMania to go film again. Whether that will affect his availability to come on. You don't necessarily want to put him in that title shot role if he's going to get a title, even though we've seen many people bugger off for a couple of weeks and come back and then bugger off and come back. I don't know. Honestly, that's why I think a nice little fun match with The Miz would do. Especially since we've seen those two put on great matches.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been 6 years since they've really feuded, and they've both gotten much better since then.
And, you've also got the Total Divas storyline if you want to segue that into there with the Nikki and Maurice stuff.
Yeah.
It's an option.
I'd be fine with it. I would also be fine with Cena Orton, surprisingly, at WrestleMania. Because it would be the 15th anniversary of both of them entering the company. And they've never actually had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania.
As much as I'm sure people will hate it, it would be a damn good video package.
Yep. It would be a great video package, and it would be a great match, too.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be AJ Cena, but it would be a great match.
And then we should probably talk about the Royal Rumble match, since we only got like 5 minutes left. Obviously, we'd already mentioned it. Randy Orton wins.
Yeah. I think WWE reminded everybody this year that the point of the Royal Rumble is not surprise entrance. It's not returns. It's not debuts. It's to set up feuds for WrestleMania.
Yeah. I know I typed out a long spiel about that pretty much after it, because it looked like the entire internet was going ballistic over this Royal Rumble match. But yeah, no legends. We had one debut, in Ty Dillinger at the number 10 spot. How obvious was that? And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's just, the Royal Rumble match always to me was just getting to see moments you wouldn't get to see otherwise, or set up for feud heading towards WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the winner of the match getting the title match title main event at WrestleMania. Although, when we look back in the original brand split era, the winner of the Royal Rumble actually main evented WrestleMania only 4 times.
Yeah. We don't mention that.
And 6 times did not.
Shh. Don't bring up stats. But yeah, obviously, we just run down the feuds that obviously opened up. Goldberg, Brock Lesnar continues. The challenge has been laid. Honestly, I really loved that Goldberg just demolished him again.
And if you set here the picture of Brock Lesnar sitting on the ground after he got eliminated, next to John Cena sitting on the ground after he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28, you would see the same exact look and everything.
Yeah. We also...
It was unintentional, but
yeah.
that was just the interesting look thing.
Braun Strowman looking absolutely terrifying.
But Baron Corbin getting one up on him by eliminating him.
Really, both of them looking absolutely terrifying. But Braun got the Big Show and the Mark Henry eliminations that he obviously needed.
Yeah, he got 7 eliminations. And he got to ride a golf cart.
Yeah. We're going to ignore the golf cart. The Undertaker, Roman Reigns. if we are to go that direction.
I do think the Braun Roman stuff is going to be a stopgap, and we will get Taker Roman at WrestleMania.
Still seeing a lot of question marks over the Undertaker's health. That are still, could throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it's but yeah, if we do go that route, I think they have to turn Roman.
Yep. He already had it there. Like, there was hints. As, like, someone who's not always clutching at straws, like, oh my god, turn Roman heel, turn Roman... There were definitely hints.
Yeah, the way he looked at Taker when he eliminated him, that screamed badass heel.
Yeah. Get off my turf.
Yep. I'm the ruler of this yard now.
The big dog, you could say. Yep. Can't believe I just made myself say that. But yeah, so we've got a great WrestleMania card, but someone who wasn't in the Rumble, just so we can get to him before we run out of time, Seth Rollins. Samoa Joe debuts on Raw, demolishes him, injures, with like air quotes but real quotes around it, him.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between storyline and reality at this point. I think there was an injury that it did occur, but I don't think it's as bad as some people have made it sound.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be ready for WrestleMania. Just we won't see him for a couple weeks because of his injury.
Yeah. Alright, well that was a massive Royal Rumble and week of wrestling. It's been great talking to you.
Bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio. See you next week.